If you're a business owner, what if you took the money you were paying down towards loans, made it the minimum, and you put money into one area of the business that would increase your growth and your opportunity? Money can be complicated. Let a nerd help you. We're here to demystify the complex nature of money by getting you answers from financial nerds and whiz kids. Welcome to Ask the Money Nerds, a weekly segment of the Wealth Labs podcast where we answer your most pressing money questions. Dealing with the complexity of planning. What if you're new in your career or your business and wondering what you should focus on first and what you should be funding and how to handle this? Well, that's what we're talking about today on Ask the Money Nerds. Chief of Staff, Stolba.
Here
what
I
up?
am. Gunderson,
How you doing?
good to be with you again.
Gunderson, it just sounds so funny.
I don't think I very often call you by your first name, do I?
My son, we're driving up to the cabin and he says, "Hey, Garrett."
Wait, what?
What? Dad.
Dad? Yeah.
Father.
Okay, so we have a question coming in from Alyssa.
Mm-hmm.
She saw you at Epic, an event this past year that you spoke at. Here's what she has to say. She says she's a self-employed. She's first year in as a chiropractor.
Cool.
And her question is about her Roth IRA. My income is limited right now, but steadily growing, and I'm wondering how to grow some sort of retirement after I establish the 6 months of living expenses. I'm not a financial guru at all, and I'm not sure where to start or if I should start. I have a lot of student loan debt and have a mortgage, which is what worries me about whether to throw everything at the debt or divide it between debt, expenses, and savings. So she's saying, help me. Those are exactly her words
help
there.
me. All right.
Yep.
Let's help her. So don't starve out the business in the name of paying down a student loan or a mortgage. And so something we cover a lot is the cash flow index. You take your loan balance, divide it by the minimum monthly payment. It spits out a number, and you only attack one loan at a time and pay the minimum to any other loan. So what has a lower index? Is it the mortgage, or is it the student loan, or does she have a car loan or anything else? Only pay extra. But do a delay. Before you do that, I like to call this the 90-day debt delay. If you're a business owner, what if you took the money you were paying down towards loans, made it the minimum, and you put money into one area of the business that would increase your growth and your opportunity? A lot of people jump to marketing for that, maybe especially as a new, business owner. It could be building the right strategic relationships that can lead to a lot more referrals. It could be building in a referral system for existing patients that becomes an automated way to do it. It could be hiring that person that frees up your time to do what you do best. But ultimately, I think investing in the business is one of the best retirement plans because people invest in the right people to support you so you can do what you do best. Processes, so there's a bit of sequence and systematization that they know what to do next so you're not micromanaging. And then procedures, which is the automation and technology that doesn't require daily human interaction in order to provide that value. Sometimes that could be one-to-many type things like we're doing here at the podcast, or the YouTube videos that we do. It could be writing a book. Like, what can you do to educate the people you're serving? So that would be one step. But businesses have insatiable appetites, and they can easily eat up capital if you're not mindful. So you also have to have a plan of how do we take business wealth and turn it into personal wealth. And this is where we're down the road of, do you pay it on loans or do you invest? When you're young, you're here, okay, the earlier you start, the more you're going to have in the future. But what if you're not out earning what you're paying? Then those loans are really slowing you down, right? Because they have a compounded cost, even though you're trying to compound your interest. So at this point, make sure you're funding your business properly, number one. Number two, build up plenty of liquidity. Get that safety and stability that's figured out. Number three, do you have times you lose sleep because of these loans? Do you feel a high level of stress that stifles your creativity and production in your business? If it's something you can manage well and it doesn't worry you, then it's probably not as high of a priority to pay off. If you're doing okay, let's say that the mortgage is under 4% and you can earn 4%, then it's just a matter of preference. But for a lot of people, they're just better paying those things off because it really harms them mentally and starts to hurt them. But at the same time, we feel this guilt because how many people tell us, you got to invest early. Are you funding your retirement? Well, how bad do you want to retire versus enjoy life along the way during these years? And if you sacrifice, then you can never get that back.
Right. Yeah. I think that's always an important consideration. We've had the conversation when people are looking, do I rent? Do I buy? Lifestyle being a factor that you consider. So as Alyssa's going about figuring this all out, also incorporate the lifestyle that she wants to have,
Right.
in the process of, paying down the debt or building her business as a chiropractor.
Right. So I look at, make sure to find money. If you have good deductibles with your car insurance, homeowner insurance, then that's going to free up a little bit of cash. If she has disability insurance, see if you can build up enough savings where that can kick in later, like 6 months instead of 3 months. That can free up some cash. Make sure you have a good amount of life insurance in case anything happens, but that could be term insurance for right now as a stopgap before you get into cash flow banking later on. And then, looking at taxes, as soon as you start earning more and start paying taxes, make sure that you're minimizing that and you have a good tax team. Go to wealthfactory.com/tax for some good resources. Choosing the right corporation is imperative, right? Whether you're an LLC or an S Corp, or in a chiropractor, it might be a PC, which is a professional corporation that operates like an S corporation. Those are two of the more common types. LLCs when there's partnerships, S corporations when you're the only owner, and how you pay yourself can make a big difference in the taxes. Once again, I'm finding money so you can automate savings without having to dip into lifestyle or sacrifice or cut back. It's more about efficiency first and then expansion second. Instead of just paying down towards the loans, I said, what about investing in yourself or into your practice to increase the income that you have? Then you'll have more income to attack these loans and maybe even have some left over to invest. But right now, if you can pay yourself first, you want to work towards on personal income, 15% of personal income, not business, but personal. And then 3% for a living wealthy account, which is just guilt-free spending, knowing you're doing the right things.
Yeah.
When you get a certain amount of months, like let's say 3 months of savings set aside, then you can look into cashflowbanking.com, get that between the two accounts up to 6 months, and then you're in a really great position that you can think, well, do you want to fund a Roth IRA? I mean, it doesn't provide cash flow, and maybe economic independence is more important. Economic independence for someone that owns a business can come from two places. One, assets that create cash flow. Some people do that with real estate. Some do that with, buying a business, or entrepreneurial income in a business, which might be as time goes on, and maybe she can increase the number of patients to actually have an associate. And then that associate can generate income that is entrepreneurial income that can create economic independence. But be careful, because some people jump into that too early before they've got the patient demand, before they even know how to manage someone. And all of a sudden now they're increasing their expenses before they know how to manage it.
Yeah. When is the appropriate time, or how would a new business owner know that it's a good time to start scaling her business?
Well, I think that it comes down to cash flow and the amount of time you're spending in the business. When you start exhausting yourself, doing too much, start wearing yourself down, then it's time to start delegating. But the question is, would you have the patient load to handle it, right?
Yeah.
And how will you compensate that associate in order for them to, A, stay, so it's not high turnover, right? B, get the type of quality that you want. So it sounds like this is really early in this practice. So get yourself to a point where you are operating it with patients as much as you possibly want to in a given week, and create those referral systems and create those automated marketing systems to be bringing patients in on a regular basis. That then it would require that assistance, and then maybe you want to scale back and spend less time with patients and more time building a business and building cash flow. And at that point, an associate can start to make sense. But some people move a little too quickly on that, and therefore it really starts to kill their cash flow, and they didn't really have the systems in place. So now they're micromanaging a person versus employing them into a system. So, there are challenges in that. And some people are never going to do that. It's just not how they're built.
Yeah.
They just love being with patients, and it's what they want to do. And that's totally good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when she specifically is working on patients and adjusting and doing treatments, that's her working in her business. Do you want to talk about the differences between working on versus in your business?
On is, retreats with your team, time away to figure what your vision is, integrating systems in, hiring. Those are working on the business types of things. Where in the business is definitely when you're, table side and hands on, and, just especially the technician type of situation where the owner is more the infrastructure that you're creating ongoing automation and that you're not going to be dealing with on an ongoing basis.
Yeah. So I might encourage her to make sure that she has time and space to do both. It's really easy, I think, especially in this profession, to focus mainly on like, I'm working in the business.
Right.
But carving out space, whether that's monthly or quarterly, to work on the business.
Right. It's like when we, right here at this table, we're with the Gamma Quartas and talking to them about, how to structure their day.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain days that you might have a work on the business day, and there might be other days that are work in the business, right? And you'll see that really commonly where people work with patients on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but not on Wednesdays, or, but I think really structuring the day so you don't get these, like half of the day is dealing with paperwork and preparing for the next day and writing something, and then the other half they're with patients. It's start, stop, move, and you never quite get into flow. And I think flow is an important piece.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of talk about hustle, but flow is the next piece. Remember that there's a show called Hustle and Flow? Remember back then?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that you watched those kind of rap type things.
I was actually thinking, no, that's
Out of
not what I
Memphis.
was thinking.
Oh.
I was thinking of the podcast you were recently on.
Nice. All right.
I haven't seen the gangster video.
Yeah. Okay. It's not gangsters.
Oh.
It's rap.
A rap. Okay.
It's a movie, not a video,
Oh.
but there might be a video there too. So
You mean it's not on a VHS tape?
it was probably invented back in the days of VHS. Yeah, when that was the thing.
Back in
I remember resisting DVDs when they first came out.
You resisted
Yeah.
them.
It's like, what are yeah. 'Cause there wasn't as many selections, so I'm showing my age too much. Let's move on. All right, so hopefully this is helpful as we go through AskSomebodyNerds.com. Ask your questions. It's time to turn your thoughts into profits and build the life you love.